Welcome back to learning a little bit about the fjords in Norway. I'm Azar with Leap of Faith Life. If you're thinking about traveling there, I'm going to give you some tips on packing in this video and on how to do the Norway in a nutshell tours visiting the little towns that exist on the fjords. And I'll give you one very specific example of the tour in Ullensvang, but there are lots of other adventures that exist on the way. Continuing from part 2 in Bergen, I took the bus from the bus station there. It was really easy to catch. It was another gorgeous journey full of lots of pictures, and they dropped us right at the port where our boat would be. And this is our boat that took us across the fjords to all the other little towns that are located along the way. It was very picturesque and beautiful. Norway has the largest number of fjords in the world, which are created by glacial runoff that create these beautiful waterways and those steep cliffs that you see on the side there. Norway is at the same latitude as Alaska, Siberia, and Greenland, but is so much warmer due to the Gulf Stream that tracks across the Atlantic and fills the estuaries of Norway, making the climate really comfortable and almost ice-free. I did my tour and organized it through Norway in a nutshell. This is one of the best organized country websites I've ever seen or come across. I know this sounds super sponsored, but it's not. The country of Norway has created a beautiful site to help you discover their country. I would definitely recommend looking around, seeing all the different activities and things, and you can see that all the prices are completely comparable, if not better, if you just book through the site and figure out where you're going to stay and allow them to connect the water taxis with the buses and all of those types of facts. I decided to go on the Fjord tour, which you could make 1 to any number of days in length, and with the short amount of time I had, it sounded perfect. You'll see we're pulling away from different little towns along the waterways here, and that's what the water taxis do. They bring you to different locations around the fjords, and you're able to pick and choose where you get on and get off, so you can choose different hotels and activities along the way at your leisure. I decided to stay at Hotel Ullensvang based on its location and all the different activities. It's a really beautiful area in Loftus, which is the orchard of Hardanger, which is the fjord area I was in. I went there as my first stop in my tour, so there was maybe 3 or 4 stops that the boat did. So I got there around maybe 11 o'clock in the morning, right around check-in, and had the whole place to myself, which was really fun. So I would definitely say go there first stop that you have on your trip. The hotel was established in 1846 with 2 beds in a boathouse by the first owner. By 1919, it was open up all year round, and they had expanded, of course, more beds. And in 1972, they did the extensions of what you see today on the outside when we get outside the hotel here in just a moment. The excursions that you could book through the hotel were plenty. You could go to walking and hiking in Loftus area, blossoming in Hardanger, which is great in May. I was here during the month of August, and the weather was pretty warm, but you did definitely need some layers. I'm so sorry, we have to pause it here to look at these dolls. They freaked me out just a little bit. They were beautiful, but I mean, come on. Anyways, back to the tour options. There's different summer skiing and even helicopter sightseeing, which sounds really cool. Microbrewery with local beer. The footsteps of Edvard Grieg, who is one of the hotel founders, which I would definitely recommend a full day here at this hotel to explore. This space was such a good place to spend a day or 2 or even 3 if you're going to do the glacier hike. It was perfect for me as a solo traveler. There was so much to do and see, especially because the weather was so pretty this day. I packed pretty light for this trip, and I would definitely recommend doing so, grabbing a backpack. You can definitely bring roller bags on the tour, but it's a little bit harder to find spots for them on the water taxi. They can accommodate, but you're a lot better off packing light. Tennis shoes, swimsuit, t-shirt, long sleeved shirts, gloves, light jackets, things that do well in the rain. They had a swimming pool, indoor and outdoor, and a moat that went around the hotel. There is also different kids areas and adult areas for swimming and activities. They don't get many blue sky days, so I was lucky to see and have some of that. They've got a really great fitness room, table tennis, table football, squash indoors, tennis indoors, a golf simulator, billiards. pedal boats, rowboats, and even an electric even an electric car that you can rent if you want to see a little bit more of the area. Their pool was worth it alone though, just to have a lovely day after traveling, this infinity pool to look out at this beautiful fjord, this glacier, these mountaintops. It was amazing. And they had a gym, indoor activity area, sauna, different sitting areas, and hot tubs. So you could go there from the winter time all the way through the summertime and have lots of different activities to do. National Geographic magazine has named the Norwegian Fjords the best unspoiled travel destination in the world. It does truly look surreal and like you're dreaming looking over this beautiful, vast landscape around you. The population of this town is 650 people, and there's 600,000 different fruit trees along this area in Hardanger. And those orchards were planted in the year 1200 and 1210 by monks along this beautiful fjord. And there's lots of different orchards that you can still walk around to this day, which sits along the Fjorden, which is the east bank of the Fjorden. It looks over this beautiful glacier, which looks over these gorgeous rooftops. Seriously, I've never seen such interesting rooftops in all of my life. I had an amazing time taking pictures of just rooftops for the afternoon. When I got back from my sightseeing and my hiking, I wanted a nice cold beer and a book to read while looking at that beautiful glacier. And by ordering my dinner from the cafe instead of from the fancy restaurant, I saved a lot of money, and it was entirely delicious, and I got to eat it in front of this beautiful view outside. The next day was a little bit more cloudy, but it still had this beautiful ethereal look with the clouds hanging a little lower over the orchards. From here I would take a water taxi on to see the rest of the fjord tour that I didn't see the day before. This was one of the only hotels that had its very own water taxi stop, which was super convenient to get luggage in and out directly right in front of the hotel. So we were able to get back on board and go see the rest of the cities and towns that I hadn't seen on the rest of the tour. There was a lot of beautiful views, and when we docked, there was a bus waiting to take us to the waterfall, and first we stopped at a nature preserve, which is where goats on the roof happened. From there we were able to see this beautiful waterfall that was the end of the journey and the culmination, which is why it's so unique on the Norway in a Nutshell tour to be able to pick and choose where you'd like to stop and stay, finding different hotels and activities that suit your interests and your time frame. Comment below with questions or keep watching for more further travel information.